What is going on, guys? Welcome back. Commentary for you. Madden 18 Connected Franchise Mode. As promised, want to start it off with free agency. Because to me, this is where the game's failures all start. So what I've done is I have really designed what would be in real life a very tense, dramatic situation, a lot of emotion, a lot of banter, a lot of communication across the NFL. Matt Barkley, 72 overall. You got to remember, this guy was once projected a top 5 quarterback. Just to start off with his career, it doesn't get replicated by Madden correctly. He missed the scouting combine to get medical treatments on his shoulder, and his stock fell. That doesn't even happen in Madden. The Eagles pick him up, I believe, in the 4th round of the draft. He gets traded to Arizona. He gets released. He's on the Bears practice squad. He gets to see a little time with Chicago, shows what I would say is maybe flashes of average. And then essentially he's went on to see backup duty in San Francisco and Arizona, but never really hit the field. So in this situation, I've cut him, as well as the Dolphins' 2 backup quarterbacks, the 4th and 5th string quarterbacks. So you've got a quarterback now, 26 years old, plenty of time to grow, relatively solid in most of the important stats. The only thing he really lacks is a throwing power. And to be honest with you, in the game, the XP, the way it works, you can turn him into a serviceable quarterback relatively easily. So first thing, there's no struggle in signing Matt Barkley. His agent doesn't come to me and establish, listen, my player doesn't want to go onto a team that has 2 veteran quarterbacks. This is a guy that a few years ago was looked at as a number 1 draft pick. He wants to go to a team that he's going to compete on, like the Cleveland Browns, try to get a starting spot. Aside from that, I don't have any agents coming to me and saying, listen, you guys just released 2 quarterbacks. I've got 4 players on your team currently under contract. I'd like to get my quarterback from my agency in here as well. Instead, you just have a lump of players to pick from. You don't really have to persuade them. There's no negotiations. You just sign the player, and he comes up on your roster. Now, once you've done that, all the dramatics dissipate. My current quarterbacks aren't upset. They don't demand a trade. They don't demand a release. There's no position battle that's going to unfold. Essentially, what becomes one of the biggest stories in the NFL turns into 3 clicks and moving a box up on a screen. If we set that aside, you also have to understand that the system is flawed in the fact that you get a turnkey player, so to speak. You sign them for who they are, and they perform to their ratings. Gone is the days where, again in real life, you have a player that just comes on and doesn't perform. Maybe he's not happy with the situation. Maybe he doesn't understand the playbook. Maybe he doesn't understand your schemes. Maybe he overperforms. Maybe he turns in to a great quarterback, like we see maybe with Nick Foles, who just blossoms. You don't have these things happen in Madden. There's no learning curve. Matt Barkley does not have to come on and adapt to my playbook. He doesn't have to develop chemistry with the line or the receivers. And these are things that damage replay value. This is things that removes a challenge in the game that would make you feel compelled to continue to play it and make your team better and have a rewarding experience. What you learn is, in sense, that you can just go in and build a team haphazardly. And then you also learn over time, and now we know officially from EA that in the actual game when you're playing, if it registers maybe that you're complacent or you're bored, they're going to have AI adjustments that recognize that, and they're going to make Matt Barkley better anyway. Now, the team building of this is completely fractured because Matt Barkley, his ratings will hold true on any team. So if I bring him in to my team where maybe I need that pocket passer because I've got a decent line, he's going to be a 72 overall. Let's say that I need to trade him, or maybe the Carolina Panthers had wanted him where they favor a more athletic quarterback. He's a 72 overall there as well. And then ultimately, none of this becomes a news story within the franchise. I mean, if I make him my starter, even in the game, we have a story that would be seldom successful. You're trying to rebuild a team with a failed college prospect to quarterback that's been written off as a backup by just about every other team. And yet in Madden, none of this really gets captured. And it would be okay if one of these elements of football in a franchise was respected. But from what I can tell, none of them are. Love to know what you guys think about this. Appreciate you checking this out. And you know that I'll be back in the week with more commentary.